Evercoat's Quantum1 is a single-step dent repair technology that's designed to eliminate the need for finishing putty while offering enhanced sandability. Quantum1 utilizes a multi-catalyst system. With 3 speeds to choose from, just pick the speed that matches the job. The following process will explain how to repair a dent with Quantum1. Start with soap and water to remove waterborne contaminants that solvent cleaners will not remove, such as dirt, mud, tree sap, and road salt. Now, use a solvent cleaner to remove grease, wax, and silicone. The presence of these contaminants can result in adhesion failure and featheredge lifting. When straightening metal, sometimes it's necessary to weld studs in order to pull out the damage. A vast majority of the time, the entire damaged area is grounded to bare metal and the studs are attached. To minimize the amount of damage to the factory corrosion protection, grind an area just large enough for the welder to make contact. This process does not cause as much damage to the factory corrosion protection as grinding the entire repair area. With the paint intact, it is easier to visually measure the accuracy of the repair process. Once the metal is straightened, remove only the base coat and clear coat from the repair area with 80 grit, while keeping as much of the factory primer and E-coat intact as possible. Proper paint removal techniques will minimize over-grinding and help preserve the factory corrosion protection. It is also important to keep the repair as small as possible. This will save time and materials while minimizing the paint blend area. The repair size can also be controlled by matching the proper size tool to the repair size. Remove only the clear coat and base coat while keeping the factory primer and E-coat intact. The recommendation is for a dual-action sander to be used with 80 grit in preparation for Quantum1 large repair. Keep the DA sander as flat as possible and remove the clear coat and base coat evenly. Any bare metal exposed at this point will still have some factory corrosion protection. For small repairs, use 180 grit to prepare the area. If the clear coat is fractured, sand until the defect is removed. If the clear coat is sanded open, continue to remove the base coat and featheredge the perimeter in preparation for Quantum1. Featheredge the perimeter of the repair with 180 grit on a dual-action sander. This will prepare the area for the application of Quantum1 to minimize the chance for pinholes and leave a consistent 180 featheredge above and below Quantum1 after the repair has been sanded. Before applying Quantum1, larger repairs should be sanded with 80 grit at the center of the repair area and featheredged with 180 grit. Smaller repairs should be sanded and featheredged with a consistent 180 grit. Remove any remaining dust with clean compressed air or an alcohol wipe. Prior to dispensing Quantum1, mix the product to ensure an even consistency. Use a non-porous surface to mix on. The use of cardboard is not recommended. Quantum1 mixes at a 10:1 ratio using a multiple catalyst system. There are 3 speeds to choose from: number 455 fast catalyst, number 457 low temperature catalyst, and number 458 high temperature catalyst. Fast catalyst, or number 455, can be used for colder temperatures or small quick repairs. Low temperature catalyst, or number 457, can be used for lower temperatures and small to medium repairs. High temperature catalyst, or number 458, can be used for higher temperatures and medium to large repairs. These catalysts can be intermixed to adjust to temperature or repair size. Smaller amounts of Quantum1 require less hardener. For example, a 2-inch puddle requires a bead from the center to the edge. To visually measure a 10:1 mix ratio, dispense a 4-inch puddle of Quantum1 on the mixing board. Apply a bead of Quantum1 catalyst from edge to edge across the center. Larger puddles require more catalyst. A 6-inch puddle requires 2 full beads from edge to edge, and an 8-inch puddle requires 4 full beads of catalyst from edge to edge. Adjust the work time by using the appropriate catalyst, or intermix the Quantum1 catalyst system as needed. Avoid under and over catalyzing. When initially applying Quantum1 to the repair area, avoid applying too much material all at once. A common mistake is to apply too much material in a single application. This traps air and does not wet the surface out for proper adhesion. The recommended application method is to load a small amount of Quantum1 on the spreader and apply a thin coat to the repair with even, firm pressure. This will wet the surface and minimize the risk of pinholes. Then, build the area to the desired thickness. Because the area was feather-edged with 180 grit, we can use Quantum1 over the entire repair to fill and finish the repair in one application. This will eliminate the need to apply a second product and a second step in the repair process. Slightly overbuild the repair area and then taper the edges of Quantum1 just slightly outside of the repair. This will make sanding the repair faster. The recommended final thickness should not exceed 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters after sanding. Allow Quantum1 to reach the appropriate dry to sand time depending on the catalyst used. For larger repairs, use a DA sander with 80 to 180 grit to help break open the surface and rough sand the area to contour. Avoid sanding into the paint with anything coarser than 180 grit. This will reduce the potential for sand scratch swelling and ensure a consistent feather edge. For smaller repairs, begin the initial sanding with 180 grit by hand or with a DA sander. Once the repair begins to reach the desired shape and contour, apply Evercoat's Spray Dry Guide Coat number 721 and continue sanding with 180 grit. After the repair is sanded to shape, use a DA sander with 180 grit and use light pressure to remove any straight line scratches that may be in the clear coat from hand sanding. To remove the dust from the repair area, use clean compressed air or an alcohol wipe. Avoid using lacquer thinner or slow solvents. If straight line scratches are noticed in the repair or in the surrounding clear coat, re-sand the repair with 180 grit on a dual action sander and remove the dust. After the dust is removed, take a moment and inspect the repair for pinholes. If any pinholes are seen, apply a skim coat of Quantum1 to the affected area. Allow recoated areas to reach the appropriate dry to sand time, depending on the catalyst used. Lightly sand the material with 180 grit by hand or with a DA sander. If the area was hand sanded, be sure to follow up with a DA sander to avoid leaving any straight line scratches. After sanding the area, use clean compressed air to remove any remaining dust and re-inspect to make sure the area is ready to prime. Apply primer surfacer according to your paint manufacturer's recommendations. For more information on Quantum1 or other Evercoat products, contact your local Evercoat distributor or go to evercoat.com for more information.